Tangela too. And our host, Vincent Landau, and he brings it to you! Creature features, and all creatures, and all creatures! And the creature gonna get you tonight. You better not turn out your bedroom light. He'll grab your head and give it such a bite. You may even die, just from a fright. You ain't nothing gonna be, baby. You ain't nothing gonna be alright. 'Cause the creature gonna get you, baby. Gonna get you tonight.
Welcome to Creature Features. We have a most entertaining show in store for you. Livingston, where in God's name did Tangela acquire that hideous monstrosity?
It was a gift, mailed in by a viewer, sir. An anthropologist, I believe.
Quite. Remind me to revisit this policy of our receiving unsolicited gifts. I thought you screened these items before you conveyed them to us.
I do. And I did.
Most diligently, I might add. Onward. Welcome to Creature Features. I'm your host, Vincent Van Dahl. You've met our mailroom clerk, Livingston, and the last with the exceptionally grotesque poupée would be my young charge, Tangela. As I began to remark at the commencement of my diatribe, we have a most entertaining show in store for you. Firstly, we'll be joined by my dear friend and favorite actress, Kathy Garver. You'll remember her as Sister Sissy from the hit television program Family Affair. We'll have ourselves a rather pleasant chat about a multitude of topics concerning television and movies, including tonight's film, 1948's The Amazing Mr. Rex. Originally titled The Spiritualist, this dark movie, or film noir as the French might say, is a film in which I know virtually nothing about, but Livingston says it's quite good, and that, my dear friends, is splendid enough for me. So stay with us for yet another spine-tingling episode of Creature Features. Livingston, at the first opportunity you have, will you please dispose of that abomination into the furnace?
I would advise against it, sir.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to Creature Features. We are again with Miss Kathy Garver. I love this woman. I mean, not in that creepy stalker way, but in she's such a wonderful actor and a dear friend.
This is true.
And
I like reruns too.
Well, we're a rerun.
I know. That's why I like running back here so we could rehash and redo what we've done
But
before.
that's not a rerun.
Well, yes, it is.
No.
We're running.
We're showing a different film. We're going to talk about different things. And,
Okay.
You know, right. Now, if I was watching MeTV and I was watching Family Affair, then I might be watching a rerun. You know, I have not seen all the episodes.
Well, I have to give you all the DVDs. There are 5 seasons and 139. We could have a Family Affair marathon. That would be a horror kind of movie, maybe, to watch all of those right at the same time.
Program.
Well, you would get really tired after 139, and that would be horrific.
I think not, because we're on episode 103 now, so we're approaching the Family Affair status symbol stage.
Then you'll be a classic.
And we love watching you, because you're such a wonderful person, how you treat those little people.
I am, and that was, a TV show.
No, but I bet you're like that in real life. You've been nice to me, and I'm nice sometimes, right?
Well, yeah, but you're really kind of bigger than they are.
Oh, so you have to be nice to me, right?
Right.
All right.
Right.
So we're going to watch The Amazing Mr. X.
Oh, boy.
You have not seen this film?
I have not.
I have not seen it either, but Livingston says it's nice. He says it's a film noir.
Is it X-rated, Mr. X?
Oh, good Lord, we can't show anything like that on this.
Uncle Bill would not have liked that.
I would never do anything like that to you. That would be
Yeah.
terrible. That
Mr.
would be
French
terrible.
wouldn't like it either.
All right.
Mr.
Well,
Italy would.
let's
Okay.
get to the film. And when
Yes.
we come back, we're going to talk about you and all the other stuff. Right?
Right.
All right. Off we go with Miss Kathy Garver to watch The Amazing Mr. X. You guys stay with us. It's going to be good.
Why, Chris.
Oh, hello, Janet.
Explain yourself.
Explain what?
Brooding on the balcony. Just isn't being done this season.
I wasn't brooding.
Lying to one's sisters out this season, too.
Strangest thing happened. I thought I heard a man's voice out over the ocean, calling my name.
Next time he calls, ask him if he has a friend for me.
I'm serious.
How can you be serious? It was the wind, or those foghorns.
Perhaps. But it sounded like Paul.
It's been 2 years now, Christine.
I know. But for a moment, out over the ocean, I felt very close to him again. He used to love the ocean, you know, especially at night. He'd go racing down to the beach for a swim, no matter how late it was. And usually I'd be fool enough to go with him.
If any husband of mine ever chased me into the ocean in the middle of the night, I'd shoot him.
He did a lot of crazy things, some of them bad. But I don't think I could ever love another man the way I love Paul.
Chris, you've got to stop talking like this. You're getting morbid.
Oh, it's not as bad as all that, Brat.
It is bad. Look at this dress. You can't wear black when you're going out on a date. Looks as if you were still, well,
In mourning?
well, yes.
I just happen to like black, that's all.
I know, but just for tonight, it isn't exactly appropriate. And Chris, don't wear your wedding ring tonight either.
Why not?
It might make it awkward for Martin.
Oh, is Martin going to propose again tonight?
Well, he might. And you can't very well put an engagement ring on your finger if that's already there.
By the way, what kind of a ring has Martin bought for me?
An enormous diamond with... Oh, Chris, you will say yes tonight, won't you?
I suppose I'd better. Otherwise, he might sue you for breach of promise.
Oh, darling, I'm so excited. And I've got just the right dress all picked out for you. Will you wear it?
Anything you say. And bring out my new ermine, will you?
You know, Chris, I I think your cloak with the sequins might look better on you tonight.
I take it you have a date for tonight, too.
As a matter of fact, I have.
All right. I'll wear the sequins, you wear the urban.
Well, if you insist. Thanks. I like your hair like that. But you could do with a little more lipstick.
And you could do with a little less.
Do you suppose it's Martin?
You know Martin would never honk a horn at a lady. It's probably your young man. By the way, which young man is it tonight?
It's... You know, I've forgotten.
Have a good time and come home early.
Well, I can't do both.
Then you come home early.
You come home engaged.
Mrs. Faber's residence? Yes, sir. Mrs. Faber. It's Mr. Abbott, ma'am.
Thank you, Emily. I'll take it here. Hello, Martin. Don't tell me you're standing me up.
No, it's just that some idiotic client came into the office at the last minute, and well, no, I know it's not serious, but I particularly didn't want to have anything interfere with tonight. Well, no, you see, I wanted to show you that I'm not always the lawyer with his mind on cases and affidavits. No, I'm really the romantic type with my mind on you. Yeah, I thought it was a nice speech. I dreamed it up this afternoon in felony court.
It doesn't matter if we're a little late, Martin. The first act's no good anyway. I'll walk over along the beach to your house, then you won't have to waste the time driving over here.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
But I want to walk over, Martin. I'll enjoy it. Oh, of course it's safe. Now stop talking like an old maid. Goodbye.
It is dark down there, ma'am.
And you, Emily, stop talking like Martin Abbott. Lock the patio door after me, will you? Good night.
And welcome back to the show. We are still with Miss Kathy Garver, and we're watching this film, The Amazing Mr. X. So, you know, I think we've got a ghost looming around the ocean.
It could be. It's a great beginning. I like it. It sets up the whole story.
It's spooky.
Spooky,
I
spooky.
hope you like spooky movies, because that's what we serve here.
Do. And film noir. One of the first movies that I did was like a film noir, Monkey on My Back.
I want to see this.
Oh, did you see it?
No, I want to see it.
Oh, it's really good. And it's a true story about Barney Ross, who was a fighter, and then he got on drugs, and then he kind of got rehabilitated. What should I call you? I was going to say it's Vince, but it's Vince Van Dahl. Are you Are you really a doll?
My goodness,
or is this
Kathy,
a real
we're friends.
person?
You call me Vince, Vincent, whatever you want to call me. But if you're going to be proper, she wants to be proper because we're on television.
Yes.
Right. So my name is Van Dahl, but you know, when I had the band, they called me Vince Vandal.
What did you steal?
Vandal.
Did you steal other people's songs?
No, it was stupid. I mean, I don't like these rock names. I said, I want to be Vince Vandal. And they said, no, Vandal. The label says you should be called Vandal because it's more marketable, I suppose.
But you're so cute. You should be a doll, like Vince Van Dahl.
This is why she's on the show twice. Because she's nice. All right, well, let's talk about Family Affair, because somebody who has not seen the last episode we had you on doesn't know the entire story. You were Sissy on Family Affair.
That's right.
How'd you get that gig?
Well, I had been working for a long time, as I
Right.
said, ever since the days of film noir and The Ten Commandments,
Right.
which was one of my first movies. And so they were looking for a teenage girl to fill in the rest of the family, which had already been cast. Uncle Bill, Brian Keith had been cast, and Sebastian Cabot, Mr. French had been cast.
How old were you during the pilot on the first episode?
I was 12.
12.
No, that's a lie. I'm sorry. I wasn't 12. I was over 18, but I was playing a 15-year-old.
Well, they often do this.
Yeah, because we could work longer. So
Right.
I was the workhorse of the show and would show up at 6:30 a.m. and then have my last close-up as my bags are starting to grow.
No bags on an 18-year-old.
Oh.
So how'd you get the gig? Who signed you up?
My agent sent me over, and I was sitting there. They wanted a blonde, blue-eyed girl to fit the rest of the family, the two twins they had already cast. Well, at that time, I didn't quite have blonde hair. It was like yours, only not quite as wild. I mean, it was dark.
Like black.
Well, dark, very dark brown.
All right.
And I had dark eyes. Nothing I could do about that.
Right.
They didn't have colored contact lenses
Right.
then. But my mom came over. Don't you love moms? Did you
They're the
have a
best.
nice mom?
I still do.
Oh,
She's not always nice, though.
yeah.
When I ring her, she goes, "Who's the American on the phone?" It's my accent. All right, so you auditioned and they said we
I
love
did,
her.
and so my mom sprayed my hair with this gold stuff, and I looked like something out of Goldfinger, and like wearing a helmet, talking to the producer, and I thought we were chatting very nicely, and he said, "What's the matter with your hair?" And I said, "My hair?" And he said, "Yes, it's turning green."
Oh,
I said,
no.
"Oh, must be the lights." Well, I knew they weren't doing a remake of The Boy with Green Hair,
Right.
which was not a horror film, but back in that era. And so we chatted. He liked me, did a screen test, and the rest is history, as they say.
That's it.
Yeah.
And fame and fortune.
And they had a doll on that show, Mrs. Beasley, but she was cast even before me.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
They cast the doll before the star.
Yeah.
All right.
Some-
We're going to talk some more about this, but we're going to get back to this film because the clock's up. So back to The Amazing Mr. X, and we'll be back with Miss Kathy Garver soon. Stay with us.
I don't blame you for being frightened. You made a decision tonight that angered him, and now you're fighting to sustain it. Well, you have all my hopes fighting with you, madame. Well, I felt you were married. I saw your husband dead and you moving toward a new marriage. And I see I was wrong. Sometimes I am. Good night. And goodbye.
Wait. You weren't mistaken. My husband died 2 years ago.
I felt I could not be wrong. I saw him, dead, and his car in flames. Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't understand how you know all this. I suppose people do talk. Do you live around here?
No, I wish I did live on the ocean. Here is my name and where I live.
Alexis, psychic consultant. Oh,
I see you place me in the same category with fortune tellers, snake charmers, and magicians. Oh, well, many people do.
but you must know who I am. How else would you know all these things?
Perhaps because we are very much alike. You and I. Free spirits, both of us. Like my friend here. We like the night, and the mist of the ocean. The wind whispers to us, and the sand feels cool under our feet. We're not like, oh, I have his name now, like Martin.
There's nothing wrong with Martin.
Of course not. If only he would understand how little he understands.
Well, Martin is very logical.
Yes, that's why you should marry him. Oh, even free spirits have to come in out of the night sometimes and put on their shoes, pay their bills, go to the dentist, and of course family dinners on Sunday. You really shouldn't be so irritated by his little mannerisms, like when he clears his throat, announcing that he's going to kiss you any minute, or when he counts off all his plans on the tips of his fingers.
How could...
How? I can't tell you how I know these things. But it hardly matters, does it? Since we're not going to meet again.
Christine? Chris!
Oh, over here, Martin.
Hi.
Hello.
Well, you certainly had me scared. What kept you so long?
Well, I was talking to this man. Well, he was here. Could I have imagined him? He was fantastic enough.
Well, let's get going.
Oh, I torn my dress. Martin, I'll have to go back to the house.
All right. We'll go to your house first, skip the theater, directly to the Blue Angel. What's the matter?
Nothing. It's just that it's so late and I'm a little upset. Could we make it some other night?
Of course.
You sure you understand?
When it concerns you, Christine, there's nothing I don't understand. Here, you better take this off my hands or I'll have to wear it to the office tomorrow.
Fix yourself a drink. I've got to change this torn dress.
Right.
Martin, how flattering.
I should have thought of this in the first place. This is much better than any nightclub.
Yes, and just think, no head waiter, no smoke, no people.
And at the end of the evening, no check.
Oh, Martin, you think in such practical terms.
I'm a very practical man. For instance, I just said that to make you pout. But better to do this.
This portion of Creature Features is brought to you by CreatureFeatureStore.com, the official merchandiser of Creature Feature accessories. This is Livingston, and you're watching Creature Features. Not now. Stay tuned.
You know, Tangella, that is... You know, I think I like the dead baby doll more than that one. It's terrible.
Really?
It's got teeth. Welcome back to the show. We are doing mail, right? Because Kathy took off for a moment. And look at all this. Look, this is like package day. she got the doll, and you've got all these packages. You know, maybe we should just limit things to email.
It's the holiday season.
Well,
Some people like to write still.
All right. Well, maybe we'll get Christmas cards.
Perhaps.
I like that plan. All right. Who's up first? Here we go. This is from Dave Golden. And he goes, Vincent, I'm surprised you didn't have Livingston look up the name of the rock formation that Kirk was on in the original series of Star Trek. Remember, I brought this up some time back. I said, what's the name of that rock?
I've been busy.
Yeah, he does have things. He's got to go through all this mail. Let's see. It's called the Vasquez Rocks. Vasquez Rocks, and was a location that they filmed episodes of Star Trek, 3 of the Trek movies, over 88 television shows, 50 movies, and numerous commercials. The longitude and latitude coordinates are 34.4885 north by 118.3207 west, since you asked. I don't know what I just read, but it sounds important.
I know where that is.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dave, and glad your GPS works. Next up, we've got another note. This one is from Robert Connor, does not indicate where, and he goes, Dear Creature Features, is there a list of the movies you've shown and the dates?
One can look them up on the internet.
On the internet. Well, we've got them all on YouTube, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, so you can go to YouTube, Robert, and you can find all our previous episodes, and you might even be watching it on YouTube right now. He might be watching us on YouTube now, so we don't have to say go to YouTube, because he could already be there, right?
Well, then he would know that, would he not?
Maybe. But maybe he didn't look at, like, previous videos. I don't know. Thanks for writing, Robert. Next up is a letter with a photo of Frankenstein on it. Oh, this is a long one. Do I have to read it all?
No.
All right. This one is from Art Madrano in San Jose. Hello, San Jose. We love you. He goes, I've been watching Creature Features since I was a young teen in the Bob Wilkins era, and I'm a big fan of the current show with you, Tangella, and Mr. Livingston. I've seen you guys at a couple of cons and asked that you carry Creature Feature ball caps in your store. I'll keep a lookout for them. Art Madrano. Baseball caps.
Well, you couldn't wear one.
No, they would damage my hair, so...
and neither can I.
We'll have to skip that. Thanks for writing, Art. And last up, we've got, a big manila envelope.
Bundle.
A bundle of things. All right, where do we begin? She always likes it when we get packages, because she gets stuff like this. That's horrid. All right, this goes to Vincent Livingston Tangella, and this is from your ghoul friend, Mary Peel in Sonoma.
Oh, how...
I like that. She spelled it ghoul. That's wonderful. All right. Mary says, greetings, friends. I enjoy your show very much. It keeps getting better. I thought it was getting worse. You know, if you listen to Livingston, we're doing terrible. So I'm not going to listen to Livingston anymore. I'm going to listen to Mary. I look forward to every Saturday evening, but what are the chances of getting some better bad movies? Like the Horror of Party Beach. We can't get that one. We tried. So that one's probably a lost cause. If you're going to write to us, and we get this request all the time, I don't think we can get that one, but we're going to try again. Plan 9 from Outer Space. We've shown that one twice. So that one, we'll show it again probably, but we've shown that one twice. So you should do what the other guy's got to do and go on YouTube and find that episode. And then she goes, The Vulture, which I've never heard of, and one called They Saved Hitler's Brain. I don't think I want to show that one. I'm sorry, Mary, but Hitler's brain, I mean, we just showed the brain that wouldn't die, this whole thing with brains, and Hitler of all things. That's, no. Whatever you can do. I have enclosed a decoration for the mansion, right? And that's this, right? Ooh, it's called a skull banner, and it's a skull and a banner as well. This is nice. We have to hang this up.
Yes, sir.
In place of honor. And she goes, and a bauble I've made for Miss Tangella. Something for you. she's gotten lots of baubles today. It's in a nice little purse. We gotta see what it is. Open it quickly. What do we got? Oh, look at this. Jewelry. You know, you can send Tangella jewelry anytime you want, anybody, because you'll see her wearing that one soon. It's a skull, right?
Crystal skull.
And she says she made, so she built this by hand. Thank you so much, Mary. That's quite kind of you. Is that it?
That would be it, sir.
That is it for letters. If you'd like to send us a letter through email, you use the email address here. And if you'd like to send a bauble to Tangella, but no spooky dolls, send it to this address here. And Livingston will go through it, and much to my dismay, probably let it pass. We'll be right back soon with Kathy Garver and the amazing Mr. X. That thing is hideous. Stay with us.
Darling.
Janet,
What happened?
I don't know. The music. Paul.
Let me help you up. Look, darling, you must have had a nightmare. It's all right now. It's over, you're awake, and I'm here.
Janet, it wasn't a dream. The windows blew open.
What's so unusual about a window blowing open?
My engagement ring was gone. The flowers were all with it.
Chris, look.
But the picture. Paul's picture.
You see? Just a bad dream.
I was awake. My wedding gown there in the closet. It came toward me. I swear it did.
It's just your bathrobe. You probably pulled the door open like this, and it flung out like that.
My wedding dress isn't there?
How could it be, Chris? It's been locked in the trunk room for years.
It wasn't a nightmare, I tell you. I saw those things. I think it was Paul, and he doesn't want me to marry.
I've got some feeling that it's not loyal to Paul if you marry again. It's on your conscience and it makes you dream. Why don't you talk it over with an analyst?
He wouldn't understand. He'd think I was losing my mind. Nobody would understand. Except perhaps Alexis.
Alexis?
Just somebody I once met.
Come on. Get to bed. It's after 3. You haven't got time for any more dreams tonight.
Janet, while you're up, would you get me a glass of water? Thanks. Janet.
I thought I was supposed to be the baby in the family. Here, give me that water. Move over. Baby. Night, Chris.
Night.
Childish, isn't it?
I think the ocean and the fog were more effective.
I agree. But in my work, I deal with many different kinds of minds. Generally speaking, I think you could say that 3 types of people come here to see me. The first, a fairly large group, come here to scoff. And sometimes a few of them remain to pray. The second have childlike, credulous minds. They long to believe. They're tired and sad and need comfort. And all this helps them. It creates an atmosphere. You see? A mood like music. And in it they find a few brief moments of comfort which helps them to continue with their gray little lives. And so I do not think it is so childish after all. Do you?
And the third group?
The third group is those of us who honestly explore the secrets of the outer world. I feel that you have come here today to join that group.
Well, I did want to talk to you about something.
I know. He was close to you last night. And he's close to you now. But wait. Maybe I should repel him, not bring him closer.
Why?
His presence is so strong, it might be dangerous.
How could Paul's presence possibly be dangerous to me?
To your plans. You want to get married and lead what is termed a normal life.
But if Paul is trying to reach me, then I want to help him.
Welcome back to the show. We are still watching The Amazing Mr. X with the amazing Ms. Kathy Garver. Family Affair. And other amazing things. But, you know, first this movie, she's seen a ghost.
Yeah, see, you were right. You were right at the very beginning when you saw the introduction. There would be a ghost there, and the spiritualist.
You would think.
Yeah. So what do they really do? Do they knock the spirit out of you? They find the ghosts around?
Well, you know, it's beginning to look like her former beau husband is the ghost.
Could be.
Right?
Could be.
I mean, is that something that normally happens in the spiritual world? Husbands haunt wives, wives haunt husbands?
I don't know. I think a lot of times it's like, because she has a boyfriend, maybe the boyfriend killed the husband, and she's a wealthy person, you know, and so he did that, and now he's going to haunt her.
You're figuring out the film before it's finished. Don't spoil it.
Well, I mean, I've never seen this film, but I mean, if I were a writer, and I am a writer, that's when I would start introducing those little things.
All right. Well, I don't want to talk about writing. I want to talk about cartoons, because you did one called Storm?
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. And I played the character of Firestar. Oh, hi, Tangela.
Firestar.
Firestar. And you know, Stan Lee just passed away recently, which was so sad.
That's sad news.
Yeah. I mean, nobody thought he would ever die. He was 95. But
I don't know where your bloody doll went.
Are you looking for Mrs. Beasley? Oh.
She's got this silly doll she's misplaced.
Oh.
All right, so you did the voice of whom?
Firestar. And Stan Lee created this character. It was the first time a character had been created for an animated show, a cartoon, rather than him taking characters that he had already made from like the X-Men universe and taking like the Spider-Man and some of the other characters he created. So it was like a little moment in history, and that show, of course, is still on. So I feel, you know, so close to him, like he created me, and then I filled in my voice to make the character live.
Now, did you use your normal voice, or did you like make something special?
I was Firestar and Angelica Jones because she had her alter ego. So Firestar was a superhero.
Do Angelica Jones again.
Angelica Jones.
That's what Tangela sounds like.
Yes.
You should change it to Tangela Jones.
Tangela Jones. Well, we could do a parody of it, you know, and then we'll put some creatures in there and we'll feature it on a different show.
You see what she did? That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yes, we can do those things. You can do those things if you are a writer. You know, I've written 3 books. My 4th is coming out. So.
Well, we're going to talk about your books in the next segment, but we've got to get back to The Amazing Mr. X because it's amazing, right?
Right. I want to see what happens with the
ghost. Spooky Night with Kathy Garver. Stay with us.
Janet, you do have a tendency to dramatize. And
stop treating me like a child. I tell you, she's been going to see him for weeks, and... Now, do you believe me? She's been reading psychic books, too. And talking about Paul as if he were still alive. It gives me the creeps.
Let's go.
Now, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna get a detective, see what he can find out about this spook chaser.
For 20 years, I've been operating among these phony mediums as a private detective. And I've yet to find one concrete bit of evidence of communication with the dead.
But my sister's absolutely convinced. He's told her things he couldn't know, unless he were psychic.
He's probably gone to a lot of trouble to investigate her past. They're thorough and clever.
What I can't understand is Christine falling for such drivel.
You'd be amazed at the people who do.
No, thanks.
Well, there's a millionaire right in this town. Wouldn't buy a bag of popcorn without consulting his medium. What's this one's name?
Alexis.
It's a new one on me. Then they change their names often enough. How about a description?
There's a picture of him in this pamphlet he wrote.
Oh, this? I used to be a magician. That's how I got into this racket. Alexis. Was called to Chicago on a case once. A young man named Maru swindled a society lady out of a whole hatful of money.
That's Alexis. He certainly used to look corny.
That's Alexis. We can report him to the police.
What charge? He served his stretch, and that's that.
But at least Christine will be through with him. I mean, if we can prove he's a crook.
How can we identify him?
Well, I could go out there and try to get his fingerprints. But I think the only times these fakes are really psychic is when there's a detective around.
They look in their crystals and see you coming.
Maybe we could send somebody you wouldn't know.
Oh, no, I think that...
Your name, please?
Harper. Mrs. Charles Harper.
Not Mrs. Charles G. Harper.
Yes. I mean, no.
Now concentrate, and soon your thoughts will merge with mine. Perhaps both hands would be better. Yes, yes. So much better. I can feel your vibrations much more clearly now. Oh, but your pulse is racing. Are you excited? Nervous?
No.
Oh, but of course, this problem is troubling you. The question you wrote comes to me, but faintly, almost as though it were false. Oh, but another question comes through with all the power and strength of love and truth. You are concerned about someone you love, a woman, your sister. Is it your sister?
Yes.
Older than you, but still you have a maternal, protective feeling about her. In many ways, you are more mature than she.
Golly, I'm glad somebody finally realized that.
Of course, you didn't always feel that way. Once you were jealous of her. You envied her popularity in her pretty clothes, and you used to try them on when she went out. And this suited you because there is an air of maturity and sophistication about you. In many ways, especially intellectually, you are much older than the many young men who admire you.
You know, I'd noticed that.
Does this feel uncomfortable to you?
I think I'll have a cigarette.
Mrs. Harper? Mrs. Harper? May I? What an attractive case.
Did you know why I wanted them?
No. Nor do I need to.
Hi, this is Matthew from Livermore, and I really liked your show. And even though you have big shoes to fill with following Bob Wilkins, in Nightmare in Blood, I was hoping you guys would do a shout-out to the profile cameo of Bob. And anyway, I think you three are doing a great job. Enjoy your show a lot. Bye-bye.
You know, I'm beginning to like this film.
Very interesting.
It's not too bad.
Very interesting.
We are still with Miss Kathy Garver from Family Affair and a number of other things, and she's an author. We're going to talk about that. And we're watching The Amazing Mr. X, 1948. Good film, but I don't want to talk about this film. I want to talk about your books.
I have written 3 books. And
3 books?
Yes. There's the Family Affair Cookbook. That was my first. That came out with recipes that, some of them that we used on the show.
Right.
And every time that there was a food mentioned on the show, there was a recipe for it. And then
wonderful.
Each character had a chapter.
Right.
Buffy, Jody, easy things to make. Mr. French, gourmet things.
Right.
Mine were sizzling recipes. And then Brian Keith, potent potables. Because he didn't really cook. So these were just drinks. Manhattans, because Family Affair took place in New York.
Cool.
And then I wrote Surviving Sissy, My Family Affair of Life in Hollywood, how I am still here talking with you.
That's
and
the Hollywood
able to remember.
tell-all.
The Hollywood tell-all.
All the secrets, all the dirt is in that book. Now, you were telling me you have a new book.
I do. And this is Holiday Recipes for a Family Affair. So we have all kinds. Every month there is, many, many, many celebrations and holidays. Right. And so this book chronicles them all. There's recipes and menus for each month. So how many chapters are there?
So I'm beginning to think you're a gourmand with 12 chapters.
Yes, 12.
12
yes.
chapters.
No, more of a gourmet than a gourmand, I would say.
What's the difference? I don't know.
Oh, well, a gourmet likes lovely food, and a gourmand eats them all and gets very big, and it doesn't matter really what it's like, but he just kind of overeats. And the gourmet is very selective and tastes everything.
See, I always thought a gourmet was like an amateur gourmand.
Was a what?
An amateur gourmand.
No,
See what I know?
You're
it's
about
French.
the Galloping Gourmet.
I remember that show.
Yes.
No, but you know, it's French. I don't quite understand those people.
Oh, well, je parle français très bien.
Je parle aussi, mais ils sont cons.
Oh, well,
We're going to have to put subtitles for you guys. aren't
well,
we?
yes.
Right.
Did you ever do your DNA and ancestry?
Well, my mother was French, and I used to live across the pond from France, but, you know.
What else is in there, Mr. Von Dahl, you cute thing?
You know, I don't know, but I was told that I'm like a mixture of every race and culture in the world.
Well, everybody is. You know, everyone has a little tiny bit, and even when you get it done, there this much could be
A pinky's worth.
That's
so
right.
I think I'm a pinky's worth of French, right?
That's right.
We're getting silly. All right, well, let's get back to this film, The Amazing Mr. X. We're watching it with Miss Kathy Garver, and we'll be back soon, but let's get back to the film right now.
Thank you. Oh, hello, dear. Did you get the day off?
What time to? Yeah, Mrs. Faber. No, Mrs. Faber. I'm getting sick of it.
And how is our client?
She's hooked good.
Good, she is. And does she feel that her beloved husband is close to her?
Surprised she hasn't asked me to lay an extra place at the dinner table. Here's a photograph of her parents. It was in the trunk where I found the wedding dress.
Oh, that will be very useful.
When are you going to put the bite on her?
Oh, Vivian, you put things so crudely. I imagine that very soon Mrs. Faber is going to press money on me to continue my psychic research.
Good. I'm getting sick of this Swedish accent. I need a new role.
Oh, I have a new assignment for you. Straight from the obituary column. A lonely millionaire who... I had no more appointments today. Here. Help me get these things out of the way.
What do you pay for those chunks of glass these days?
$3 a piece. It used to be $1.95. You know, somebody ought to do something about this high cost of living.
You should complain. You're selling them for 25 bucks to your psychic students.
I used to. But who am I to fight inflation? I'm charging 50 now. Expensive car. Expensive clothes. I would say no brains and lots of money. So long as you're here, Vivian, you might as well check the car for me. There might be some papers or something in the glove compartment.
Okay.
I'll use a turban in case you find out something.
This is such a pleasure. I mean, I've heard...
I'd rather not tonight, Martin. Really, I'm much too tired. Well, let's decide about Friday later. Call me tomorrow. Good night. Will that be all, Mrs. Faber?
That's all, Emily. Thanks. Chris, let you and I spend the evening together. If you're tired, we could go to a movie.
Well, actually, I'm busy tonight, Janet. I have an appointment.
Chris, don't see Alexis tonight. Don't see him ever again.
Janet, I thought we agreed not to discuss this.
I'm not attacking Alexis, honest. I think he'd be very good for certain people.
But not for me?
Well, you see, when some people meet a fascinating personality, they're swept right off their feet.
Like me?
Yes. But other people can be more objective, like me. It's true, Chris. In many ways, I'm more mature than you are.
Janet, I have lived through most of your growing pains, and oftentimes you've been insufferable, but tonight...
You see, you can't be objective. You're getting sore just because I'm trying to give you some good advice.
Give me advice, Janet, please.
It is good advice. Alexis agrees with me.
Alexis agrees with you?
You see, I've talked to him a few times about your problem. I went to his house.
How did you find him?
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. You know, he has one of the most vibrant personalities.
And you came to this conclusion while discussing my problem?
Well, we talked a little about me, too.
Janet, good night. I'll leave you alone with your objectivity.
I had to see you. Don't pay any attention to her.
I feel a disturbance. If we are to reach the outer world tonight, we must leave behind us all thoughts that are hostile and on a low emotional level. Now, Janet, this is your first seance. There must be some skepticism in your mind.
Oh, no.
Perhaps only in your subconscious mind, but nevertheless, we shall proceed under test conditions. If you will be good enough to hold this key for me. And Christine, will you tie my wrists together securely?
Oh, there's no need to do that, Alexis. I have every faith in you.
Oh, but I insist, for my own sake.
Here, Chris, you take the key. I'll tie his wrist.
All right, Janet. Start with the right one. Tie one knot in the center. Tightly. That's good. Now tie my hands behind my back. Very tightly. Thank you. Now lock the cabinet so that you know that I cannot possibly move from this chair. Now, Christine, will you switch off the light? The switch is right in behind you. And clasp your hands together tightly, with a key between your palms. If you see anything at all, do not move around or cry out.
sure like to know what's going on in there. If he's staging a seance, it'd be a good opportunity to prove he's a phony.
Let's sneak around back. There may be a window we can look through.
Or climb through.
Martin, what are you doing?
Showing you what a phony this man is. Where's the key?
If you think he's still in here...
What is it? He's quick on his feet, I'll say that for him.
How could he get out when I locked him in?
He could show you if he wanted to. You tie a knot like this. And then?
Martin, this is dreadful.
Yes, it is. I'm afraid I must insist you don't come here again.
Insist? By what right do you insist?
Well, we're engaged.
Well, even if we were married, I'd think as I pleased. And I won't close my mind to truth just because you don't happen to understand them.
Truth, poppycock. Be logical, Chris. Be logical.
Pardon me, Mr. Abbott. Do you think you could possibly defer your discussion long enough to untie this rope?
Oh, I'm sorry, Alexis. I'll do it.
I happen to understand more about these things than you do. Do you realize that man has a criminal record?
Alexis told us he was once in prison, if that's what you mean.
Sometimes a prison record is something to be proud of.
I'm terribly sorry about this interruption, Alexis. I saw him. I saw Paul.
We will bring him back.
Even if you could bring him back, she'd be better off if he stayed where he is, dead. She never meant anything to him but money.
Martin.
He'd been married and divorced before, each time with cash settlements. If he'd lived, he'd have made you miserable and ended up where he belongs, in jail.
I never thought you'd attack a dead man with lies he can't answer.
Yes, it's in the records. When Martin disappeared, did you or did you not ask me to investigate?
Yes.
Well, in the course of my snooping, I found a second Mrs. Faber, divorced in Las Vegas just 6 months before he married you. I think he went over there to see her. I never could find her, though, and Paul was dead, so...
Seems very strange that if it were true, you didn't find it necessary to tell Mrs. Faber.
Yes, I suppose it is strange. And very silly to try and protect the girl you love. She only runs as fast as she can to another phony like you. Come on, Hoffman, let's get out of here.
Going so soon? I'd hope we might stay around a while.
You should stay. You'd soon learn what amazing powers Alexis has.
I'm always willing to learn. Perhaps you'd like to resume the seance.
Yes. Under real test conditions.
And have you reported me for conducting a seance? I should say not.
He probably could report you now. But if you'll sit down here at this table, and while we all hold hands like real good friends, if you can make any of your spirits walk or talk, I think Mr. Hoffman will let it ride this time.
It's ridiculous.
Show them, Alexis.
Yes, Alexis. Do.
I'm afraid under such hostile circumstances, any contact with the spirit world would be practically impossible.
Yeah. I've heard that patter routine before. I know it's easier when you can run around the room in the dark.
He doesn't run around in the dark. Go on, Alexis. Let them see for themselves what you can do.
Okay, let's go.
You really ought to have on the premises for tight spots like this.
We checked, you see, to make sure you hadn't.
Shh, we talk so loud.
You mean we'll frighten the ghosts?
Christine.
You see,
Christine.
it's Paul. It's his voice.
I didn't mean to frighten you ever, but I had to get through to you somehow. I've always loved you, you know that.
Yes, Paul.
And if you could only believe, we could be together for always.
Wasn't anybody out there.
20 years, never anything like this.
If everybody will excuse me, this has been a terrible strain.
Come on, Chris. I'll take you home.
This portion of Creature Features is brought to you by CreatureFeatureStore.com, the official merchandiser of Creature Feature accessories.
Welcome back to the show. We are still with Miss Kathy Garver watching The Amazing Mr. X. There's a lot of seances in this film.
Have you ever been to a real seance?
You know, I've been invited to them, but I'm always scared to go.
I know, it's pretty scary. Richard Carlson was handling himself very well. Richard Carlson, I think, is so cool. He was in It Came from Outer Space.
I have not seen that film yet.
Oh, he did a lot of stuff for Universal horror films, but I know him for a TV series that he did back. I Led 3 Lives. A friend
That was
of
a
mine,
TV series?
It was a TV series.
Was it like 3 episodes?
No, it lasted It lasted pretty long.
Oh.
Yeah, and so he was like a family man, and he was an undercover agent, and then he had another job. And my friend Cheryl Calloway was in it. That was like, I think, in the late 50s.
I should see if they have that on YouTube.
Oh, yes, do. Look it
try to
up.
watch
He's
it.
good. Richard Carlson's a good actor.
All right. Well, I don't want to talk about Richard Carlson. I want
Okay.
to talk about you and this
Oh, what?
cruise. She told me about this cruise she's organizing.
Oh, yes.
This is amazing.
It's going to be so
Tell
much
us.
fun. November of 2019, and it's the Classic TV Star Cruise. And the host is like Barry Williams, that was on Brady Bunch.
Oh, I love him.
He's great. It's the 50th anniversary of Brady Bunch. So it's Barry Williams and me from Family Affair. It's John Provost from
know John.
Lassie. Yeah, John
We
has
love
done
John.
this show. Yeah, he's great. And John Schneider from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, yes.
Jerry Mathers.
The Beeve. I
Yeah,
met
the
him at a
Beeve.
convention.
He's a nice guy.
He's very nice, very
Yes.
sweet.
Yes, he is. Judy Norton.
I don't know her.
She was from the Waltons.
Oh.
And Greg Evigan from BJ and the Bears. There's 10 of us. And so we're going to do meet and greets and excursions. We're doing a little talent show for everyone.
Where
so
does the cruise start and go?
It starts in Fort Lauderdale, and then
Right.
it goes to the Grand Caymans and Cozumel and Playa Maya, or something like that. There's another
I want to
town.
go on this.
Come and go with it. Oh, you would be a big hit.
No, I would want to like be a wallflower.
Oh, we're a lot of stories behind the scenes of all those classic television series that were on. So we're going to have a good time. Talent shows, cocktail parties,
This
special
sounds
dinners.
You know, I've not been on a cruise for like a decade or two.
Oh, you should go. We could have a seance there.
Well, you know, I did not have a good experience on my last one.
Well, this will be a happy
Oh, I know.
experience
I
because
have
there's
no
all
doubt.
sitcoms. It will be a sitcom seance.
No, it's a true story. I ended up on a cruise with like very senior people. And it was like they would close the casino early at night because everyone went to sleep.
Well,
It
this
was sad.
Well, we'll have a good time on this cruise. I guarantee it.
All right.
Celebrity Cruises.
All right. Well, we're gonna give the link for your website, and there's information there.
There
right,
is.
coming up in the next segment. But first, let's get back to the end of The Amazing Mr. X. Right?
Right.
It's gonna end well, right?
I hope.
So do I.
I got my X's crossed.
Me too. Off we go.
What are you so startled about? You're used to raising the dead, aren't you? Although I guess with me it was a little easier, because I'm only legally dead. You know, I've been watching you ever since my widow started coming to you, Alexis. I find your methods quite amusing. Excellent. How do you get out of that rope thing?
Manipulation. But how did
the
you...
cabinet? Just push a button and the idiots reach for their checkbooks.
It isn't quite as simple as all that. There's a lot of psychology involved and research.
Sounds dangerously like work. However, your bag of tricks can be useful to us in our present plans.
We, have plans?
I didn't help you out tonight just for the fun of it, my friend. I can use you. You see, I need money. A lot of it.
I don't understand. If you went back to Christine, you could have anything you want.
You don't seem to have a very analytical mind.
No, but Christine still loves you. She... Oh. You mean if you weren't dead, the police might want to know who it was they found burnt to death in your car, hmm?
Exactly.
Have I been using the wrong piece of music?
What? Oh, no. You have the right one for Christine. I used this one for my first wife.
Was it her ashes they found in the car?
It was me they found in the car. Don't forget it. Perhaps I should point out that I'm in a very curious position. Since I'm believed dead, I could even kill a man. Nobody'd think of looking for me. You're in a curious position too, Alexis. You can't tell anybody I'm alive without exposing yourself.
That's right, I can't. It is a very curious position.
And a profitable one. I don't think it's too premature to congratulate you upon an extremely advantageous marriage.
Marriage?
Well, come, my friend. You must be prepared to make some small sacrifices.
You don't expect me to marry Christine?
No, the little one, Janet. She's still young enough to be dazzled by you. From then on, getting that estate will be like taking candy away from a baby.
I don't think Christine would allow it.
I'll take care of Christine. I'm a little rusty on this one. I'll have to practice. Have this piano tuned, will you?
You know, I think I have talent along spirit lines.
You do?
Yes, I've been reading and studying. I think maybe I'm mediumistic.
How?
You know that seance we had at your house when Paul appeared?
Yeah.
Was that Paul's first visitation? Alexis.
Oh, yes, it was. Mm-hmm.
You see, maybe it's because I was there, all tuned in and sensitive. Well, it could be. Did you ever see a better spirit manifestation?
No, darling. That was an all-time record.
About my sister.
Yeah.
She's very attractive, isn't she? Most men admire Chris.
But Christine will always belong to Paul.
I suppose that's true. I wish you wouldn't be so unhappy. Do you suppose they'll be joined together someday in celestial companionship through all eternity, like it says in the books?
Yes, I'm sure they will.
Alexis, do you think I'd make a good celestial companion?
Darling, I think you'd be wonderful.
And we'd love each other through all eternity?
Oh, even longer.
Alexis, why don't we start right here on the Earth plane?
I've come for you, dear. Hurry, Chris.
Paul, wait. I'm frightened.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
Paul, I'm afraid.
Race you to the beach.
Last one in's a coward.
I think she's all right.
you doing here?
Well, at the moment I'm opening the door, but not very wide. You're not exactly welcome here.
Where's Emily?
It's Thursday, Mr. Abbott. Her day off.
Where's Frida?
Frida left yesterday. She said she thought the house was haunted.
I can see what she means. I want to talk to Mrs. Faber.
I don't think she wants to talk to you.
Janet. Where's Chris?
She's in bed.
She's making herself ill with this morbid nonsense.
Oh, it isn't that. Chris had a fall last night on the cliff. She might have killed herself if Alexis hadn't caught her.
What was she doing on the cliff?
Well, she thought she heard Paul calling.
Janet.
We'll always be together, Chris. Together, always.
This Paul.
You'll always be mine, Chris. Chris, I'm waiting.
Hello,
We'll be together, Chris. Together, always.
What'd the doctor say?
Chris wouldn't have a doctor.
You've got to be logical about this.
But she's not badly hurt. She's just bruised and shaken.
In the first place, she's in a state of hysteria. In the second place, she shouldn't be in this house. Everything in it reminds her of Paul. And finally, she shouldn't be left alone for 1 second. There's no telling what she might do.
But I'm with her all the time. I haven't left... Chris! Chris! Martin! Chris!
Martin.
Chris, are you all right?
Yes, of course.
What's in that bottle?
It's just aspirin. I've got a headache.
Chris, it's dangerous for you to stay here. You need rest and care, perhaps in a hospital.
You're trying to separate us. I won't go to a hospital. I won't leave this house.
Only until you're better.
No. You're trying to drive him away again. Now get out. Get out.
I'll leave before I upset her anymore.
I'll see you to the door, Martin.
They've left the room.
Then you can resume the treatment?
If you hadn't tried to play the hero last night, all this wouldn't be necessary.
I had to save Janet, didn't I?
You're not falling in love with her, are you?
Look, if I'm going to marry into this estate, there's got to be somebody for me to marry.
Just by way of making conversation, that wife of mine in Las Vegas, the one who tried to back out on me and wanted her cash settlement back, I settled with her, but not for cash. Now, if you should back out on me, I wouldn't hesitate to settle with you either, Alexis,
I
because...
know, because you're in such a curious position.
Paul. Paul. Paul, you're back.
How long, Chris? How long must I wait?
out of here.
Why didn't you tell me you wanted money that badly? I'd have given it to you just to get rid. Paul!
Yes, I'm alive. Legally, I'm dead, and I'm going to stay that way. But if you're alive, I won't be able to. It's too bad you came down here, Janet.
Janet, run!
I'm ready to get me Bradshaw 7425. Martin, this is... Martin!
Operator.
Chris, wake up! Can't explain. Quick, we'll take the back stairs.
You forgot, Paul. My profession is raising the dead.
You're losing quite a bit of blood, aren't you, Alexis?
Spirits don't need any blood. Do you think bullets can harm us ghosts? Those were your last 2 shots. The police are here, my friend. Your gun is empty. But at least you have been privileged to witness my best performance.
You made one little mistake. I started with 7 shells. I have 1 in the chamber.
Alexis, you were wonderful.
Yes. I guess there must be a better side to my nature. But now you must forget me.
No, never.
I don't need a crystal to see that your future is bright, Janet. Don't you go clinging to the past. I lived by feeding people's desire to escape the present. But you can't escape for long.
Alexis, I'm afraid for you.
I'll be all right. I'll find some spirits that want to contact people. Open the window, Janet, please. Fly away, my friend. I won't need you anymore.
And that puts a bullet in the head to the amazing Mr. X.
I couldn't believe the twist on that story. I always thought he was dead. And there he comes back and he's alive. And I mean, that's good plotting.
It was
really
obvious
is.
to me that there was some gaslighting going on.
Did you?
This is a plot device they've used in so many films.
This may have been one of the first time they used it. And then they just imitated it as other movies were
You think it was the
made.
first?
I don't know.
Well, you know, in the order of creature feature movies that we've shown, I think this is the third gaslighting film we've shown.
Really?
Right.
Yeah, and this is like a horror thriller. So I mean, it's thrilling to see what actually went on.
No, I want to see a gaslighting film where the woman gaslights the man. Right.
Well, this is the year of the woman, so I guess we'll have to do a new movie.
Wait,
we'll
you
do
said
a
that last
new
year.
movie
You said
together.
that last year.
Well, it's going on and on and on and on.
it's the decade.
It's
of
the decade of the woman.
I'm all right with that. I
Yeah.
like it. So what do you got going on next?
Well, I'm doing a play with Chris Knight from the Brady Bunch. And
I love him.
He's great.
He was
he's
Peter.
Just yes, he's just the
Right.
nicest guy.
Right.
And then Larry Thomas, No Soup for You.
Oh,
From
yes.
Seinfeld.
Right, right.
And then Karen Richmond, who was the Gidget on The New Gidget. And it's
Oh.
called Dinner at 5. It was written by Lloyd Schwartz.
Nice.
And Lloyd Schwartz and his dad originated the Brady Bunch.
Right.
And 1 and 2 and 5 and 1,000. And Gilligan's Island. So
Right.
it's a very funny play. We've done it in Arizona. We've done it in Colorado. We're doing it in Northern California at the
Wonderful.
Grand Theater in Tracy.
Oh, that's not far from here.
Yeah.
Right.
It's about couples switching partners, but it's very PG.
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 All right.
So everybody can
Bring
see
the
it.
kids.
Bring the kids in February to the Grand Theater of 2019, and they can see
right.
this lovely.
And what else?
And I'm doing a movie called Grace, and it's a Western.
Right.
And Nancy Stafford is starring in it, and she's also directing it. She was in Matlock. She played the woman in Matlock. So
Right.
good story. And it's really for the proceeds and the profit for the movie are going to this little town called War in Western Virginia that's totally poverty-stricken
Right.
from the coal miners. So anyway, I'm doing that movie.
Nice.
And I have a couple other projects that I can't really talk about.
Because they're like in the planning stage.
Yes, they are in development.
Oh.
So we've got almost signed on the dotted line, and I have a cooking show that I'm doing that has been accepted by PureFlix, but again, we haven't signed on the dotted line, so I've been kind of.
Well, your agent must be quite busy.
Yes, I am.
All right. Oh, you're your own agent.
I do a
All right,
lot
well,
of the agency
So how can
myself.
people find out more?
Well, you can go to my website.
Right.
That's www.Kathy.
Kathy with a K.
Yes, you got it. Garver.
Garver.com.
That's right.
That's a lot.
It's a long KathyGarver.com. You can
But
go
they
to my
look-
Facebook, like
Right.
me, and on there. And
Well,
my
everybody
Twitter.
likes you with or without Facebook.
Oh,
right?
thank you.
You're
That's
wonderful.
very sweet.
You're always so wonderful to us. And I want to thank you again for coming up and enduring Tangela
yes.
and her silly doll.
Yeah, I don't know what she was looking for. I thought she was looking for.
Oh, she found it.
Oh, did she?
Poor thing.
Oh,
Not Tangela, the doll.
oh.
No. All right. So we will see you again soon.
Okay.
And as far as the rest of you are concerned, tune in next week. I know this was a wonderful show, but you never know what's going to happen next time. Could be a surprise. We'll see you then. So, Kathy.
Yes.
I'm absolutely intrigued and interested in this cruise.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
I know. But if I go, I'm going to feel like I'm not contributing enough, and I'm thinking maybe I could pilot the boat.
I don't think so.